Okay, it's 7 o'clock. So I am going to call the meeting to order. I'm trying to get a sense of reading the room. How many people might be here because they got a notice in the mail? Okay, so I will attend to that first because I think we can, so we're gonna bypass everything on the agenda right now. We're gonna jump down to number 2C. So hopefully we'll be able to allow you folks to go home early, should you so desire. I am going to open the public hearing for the proposed changes to the Town of Canterbury zoning ordinance. And the planning board are bringing forward 5 articles. And the first article was for, hold on, let me back up half a step. So the reason why you guys were noticed, I stopped at town hall today and I was told by the administrative secretary, and please correct me anything that I misspeak to here, because I'm going to try to explain it. The concern is that we have been making amendments to our warrant articles for the last 10 years, 12 years, incorrectly. Well, procedurally incorrectly.
Can I just explain?
Go ahead.
We've just been noticing the public hearing for the zoning amendments incorrectly. So, if you have a district with fewer than 100 properties in it, then you have to send out letters to all the property owners. So we've been noticing it in the paper and on the website and hanging it up around town, but we haven't been sending out these letters. So this is the first year we've sent out the letters. A lot of people have been confused about it because it's new and it is confusing. But it's basically just telling you what you probably already knew from other notices, is that they're having a hearing on zoning amendments.
So what I said was incorrect in that it was, public notice is legal, so everything is legal as far as anything that is passed. However, there was a technicality in the,
We're just trying to be more correct.
we're trying to be more correct or more encompassing, where the administration feels that because we have a district that has fewer than 100 residents,
We have 5 districts.
because we have a district that has less than 5 residents.
No, 5 districts.
We have 5 districts that have less than 100 residents. Thank you.
You can see how we got this wrong.
Yeah, so because we have a district that has less than 100 residents, we have 5 of those in Canterbury. The commercial zone, the industrial zone, the Center Historic District, the Shaker Valley District. What was the 5th one?
Commercial, industrial, natural resource, center historic.
Natural Resource. And those have less than 100 residents. The town felt that you should be noticed about these changes. Okay? So you're fortunate, you're special, you're lucky, you got a personal notice about it. But it's kind of over the top as far as, and I think it's going to be looked into more, but because of these warrant articles, town meeting, we want to ensure that everything is legal and done correctly going into town meeting, and we're going to figure this out more thoroughly, but right now This is why you guys are here. So the public meeting is open. Having said that, does anybody? No, hold on. Public meeting is open on these 5 articles. The first article is data centers. The second article is about gross living area. The third article is about legislative compliance, and that has to do with changes in tweaking the ADUs. And the fourth one has to do with the wetland setback ordinance. And the fifth one is the cluster subdivision ordinance, which we spent quite a bit of time on last meeting. So the public portion of this is open. We have already deliberated, we already spoke to them. It's now you guys have a turn. You have an option right here, right now, to speak say whatever you want in terms of this. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak to these proposed ordinances, changes? Yes, sir.
Rob Riley, 26 Old Tilton Road. The question is whether the warrant articles disproportionately impact the 5 zones that you mentioned, or is it just that we happen to live in one of those zones, so we are noticed?
Feedback.
Uh,
Feedback.
Sorry, I have to mute somebody.
I think it's the second one.
Okay, continue.
That was my question.
It is because you live in one of those districts, you get personally notified via USPS. Everybody else gets notified by a posting at town hall and at the library and wherever they post at.
So there's nothing about the warrants that target these zones specifically. It is uniform across town. Again, we just
That's
have to
correct.
be in the technical 100 or less.
That's correct. That is simply
Great.
the simple explanation.
Perfect.
And because it is so, the investigation on it is so new, and we just want to ensure that we're doing it the right way. We're going to delve into it after town meeting, but we want to get these onto the ballot for this town meeting cycle. Okay? Yes.
Linda Bliss, Baptist Road. If a person is going to be absent at town meeting, is there a way they can find out more about these articles before they vote?
You could watch, number one, you could watch the recording of our last meeting. We did we had a good discussion about the different articles and stuff.
What date was that meeting?
2 weeks ago.
Third. But
13th.
actually, we vote on these not at town meeting, we vote on them the Tuesday
I
before.
realize that.
Yeah.
The meeting was,
I thought you said you were going to talk about them more at town meeting
no, they go up for vote
on the Tuesday.
during the town meeting cycle on the Tuesday, correct?
Okay.
I'm sorry if that wasn't well identified. I'm having a hard time with my numbers.
Our Zoom participant has a hand up.
Our Zoom participant has a hand up.
Yes, David Booth, is that for me?
Yes,
I don't know how many Zoom participants you have. Am I the one that you're recognizing now?
yes,
This is
sir,
David
I
Booth.
am. Yes, David Booth,
Okay,
please.
yeah. Thank you. Yes, I read all the proposed changes, and 4 out of 5 of them looked very sensible to me, but one of them really stood out and really puzzled me, which was the change for the cluster development. By my reading of that, it looks like that would almost undermine the intent of the cluster development by reducing the density that it would produce. It looks like the change is to change the allowable density to 50% of what's specified in section 5.2 instead of the amount that's specified in section 5.2. That's very puzzling to me because the in my opinion, there's been a lot of problems with sprawl and encouraging denser development there when it's next to like a city or town center is very helpful in preventing sprawl. So it seems like that making that change would be kind of going like in the opposite direction that we should be going. So I'm very puzzled about what was the motivation for that change, that proposed change.
Go ahead, my colleague here he's offering to explain it.
I think it probably does undermine it, just probably a lot, but I think there was, given our experience with the Exit 18 cluster, I think we all felt, and maybe a lot of our constituents felt, that the cluster development ordinance had some flaws, and rather than repeal it or try to repeal it and fix it and then enact it, we thought we'd try to delay fixing it because we need to look into it in the coming year. And for the time being, we just made it hard, but not repeal it altogether. And hopefully next year or 2027, we'll see fixes to it that both do what it's supposed to do, like you perceive, and also repair it so that we don't get some of the problems with it. I hope that explains.
Right. Yeah, thank you. I certainly agree that the Exit 18 development was a big mistake. Well, at least I think it was. So yeah, I guess I agree with that motivation, but it does seem very strange to be going about it this way. So thank you.
You're welcome. And just so that you're aware, of these 5 warrant articles, we considered, we took a vote, and the board is recommending passing as is. But this 4th one, the cluster subdivision, we have proposed a change, which we are going to, was that posted, Cal?
Yeah, that's the 50% stuff.
Okay.
That's what he's talking
Yeah.
about. Yes.
So that is in hopes, as Mr. Gordon said, we are trying to salvage it rather than toss the whole thing out. We put a lot of work into it. There was a lot of effort that went into it. While there were some problems with the Exit 18, we were able to reduce the number of houses that went into that location, and there were some other concessions that we were able to acquire for that development.
My overall concern is that zoning should be changed in general to encourage development at town centers and discourage development that is away from town centers. In other words, discouraging sprawl. Sprawl has been a major problem, and it is destroying the character of Canterbury and many other towns. So that's all I wanted to say. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for your comments.
Calvin?
You still have a comment, Calvin?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
So by changing it to 50%, is that going to change the density bonus? Because I believe you guys discussed last week that by putting the number to 50%, it would encourage the developers to pursue density bonus and shape the developments more as to what you envisioned in the original proposal. So are you going to potentially change density bonuses, or are those going to stay the same?
Those are staying the same. Those are not changing. All we're doing is making that one proposal in that one section of 6.6.
For this year.
For this year. We are going to continue to work on it, but we're looking to make one change for this year.
Commissioner Bennett? The idea of changing this to the 50% of the sort of, you know, baseline standard density is to put more weight and importance on those density bonuses, which gives the board more leverage to get things that in the end the town as a whole want out of developments.
But that wouldn't, I guess what I'm saying is there'd be no wiggle room into giving greater density if they achieve more of your wants or wishes or the town's wishes. For instance, if a property comes in as 100 acres, and call it residential, they allotted 100 acres, about 30 units, say they get 15 out of the gate because you're
Sure.
making it 50%. If they meet all your density criteria, are you going to get, would there be any incentive for them to meet those criteria? Like, if you're not gonna increase the buffers for more development, but for more bonuses,
Well, the incentive for the density bonuses is that if they don't do the things to get them, they don't get those density bonuses.
I guess what I'm saying is what would be my incentive to spend the capital to meet those if I'm only gonna get 5 more houses on an already reduced to 50%?
Well, because on that 100-acre lot, you are not necessarily going to be able to put in 30 actual units if you do a standard subdivision. That's not like a common scenario. You get to use that 30 units as your baseline, but that doesn't mean you could actually put 30 units on it.
The overall ordinance is gonna be looked at and worked on, alright? There are bonuses in place for percentages of open space, for ensuring the retention of stone walls, and so on and so forth. So those density bonuses took up a lot of our time in previous planning board meetings. There was a lot of discussion about them. Hence, one of the reasons why we don't wanna throw the whole ordinance out. We do understand that we think it's flawed. There's some flaws, and we're gonna be looking at fixing those flaws. However, rather than getting rid of everything with it, all the good with the bad, we're gonna keep it, make this change, continue to work on it.
For the reasons that Mr.
Okay.
Booth stated, I thought I expressed this 2 weeks ago, that 50% is too low for exactly that reason, and it should be maybe 3/4 or something, because I'm afraid that the 50% undermines the intent of the ordinance so much that some of the big, land sales, and there's the obvious one on Shaker Road at 188 acres, will just be subdivided in the old-fashioned way rather than using the cluster ordinance. So I would advocate this be higher than that, and I lost that vote, but that was the reason.
Yeah.
Well, when you take Shaker Road though, for instance, most of that property is agricultural. By the current zoning, you can't even put a cluster subdivision in it. I guess what I'm saying is if you're gonna reduce it to 50, you're making it so nobody would want to develop under this. You're essentially backdoor closing the cluster subdivisions. And
That's
why I was curious
my
if you would-
worry
If you
is.
would change the incentives to entice developers to develop.
Calvin, I think that in our experience with Exit 18,
Please direct
We
your
follow-
questions to the chair, so we don't wanna get into a back and forth with the public.
You say Mr. Chair, and then you say. what
did you
said.
do that? Did
No, I
Logan do that? I think that they did. So, Chair, I have a comment to Calvin. What was I saying before I was interrupted? So we found, when we were reviewing the Exit 18 application, that there were a lot of things that several of us on the board wanted to see there. Tons of different ideas, but one top of mind was sidewalks, more safety, those sorts of things, but we had no way of incentivizing that. So we do plan to look at density bonus incentives in this next iteration. We were just really constrained on time at this point to get into the very long and nuanced conversations that those will be.
Chair,
Mr. Me,
just so you understand, we would have had to have resolved what those density bonuses were 2 weeks ago to get them into a public notice, if we were going to do that. And we didn't have the time to do it.
Any other public comment? Go ahead.
How do you determine?
Please state your
that-
name and where you reside.
Matt McCurley, we have land on Old West Road.
Thank you.
How do you determine the 50%? So it's 50% commercial and 50% residential. How are you determining it by units, by acres, by, how does, I'm not sure I heard now.
So 50% of the number of houses that would be on that tract of land, the size of land, depending on the zone that it was in, what's the minimum acreage, what's the minimum size for one dwelling or one unit? And so it's hard to say, it depends on the size of the tract.
So it's not like commercial, it would be more for residential.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are you only considering at this point the east side of 93?
We are not considering anywhere. This is a zoning ordinance. This applies to everywhere that this would be applicable into. The cluster subdivision, what happened in 18 was debatable as to whether it fit the bill for a commercial cluster subdivision. What this is addressing is the cluster subdivision ordinance in general, and it's for the whole town.
It's not, there's no cluster in the ag zone
Thank you.
or the industrial, right? Yes.
So we're allowable.
Okay, and are you looking for any more commercial around exit 18? I don't know if it was last year or the year before, there was a meeting at the town hall about that, having more commercial land in exit 18 to develop. Why I ask that is I own the property on the west side, the field, highway to the tracks. And when that was zoned, they changed the zoning down there. It says about my property that excluding what was under easement would become commercial. I've got 17 acres down there that's not under easement. And they still zone it as agricultural,
Bitch.
and it should not be.
Is that the
Yeah.
packet? Okay, so I was told that you would be coming to the meeting tonight,
No, they
so,
won't. That's generally the word.
I don't think that your situation applies to the discussion here. You were seeking some information and the secretary just notified me that the information that you were seeking earlier today at town hall, she has it.
You have the wording of that?
So if you wanna talk about this after the meeting, we did a bunch of research and we found what we think that you were talking about. But it's not actually the case that that was changed to commercial as far as we can tell. So, but that's, if we could talk about that in the office, just because that's a long discussion and we might need to look through more records. Cause we looked through the dates that you recalled, or we can find anything, so maybe if you recall other dates. So if you talk to me after the meeting, I can do this and we can.
Okay, would you just, so I could just go to the office and we deal with it rather than
Yeah.
after? Okay.
I don't think it's relevant germane to what we're talking about here.
No, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
The whole realm of things.
Yep. Any other public comment? Okay, at which time, I think what we'll do is we'll close the public comment on these 5 warrant articles. Is there any discussion by the board about these? Because I think what we need to do is vote on them again. Because I think it was just to cover our bases, I think the procedure was flawed and we just wanna cover ourselves for this. So right now, this is, these 5 articles are back open for discussion. I'd like to go through them one at a time, and if there isn't any further discussion, then we can vote on them. I believe the last one, the cluster subdivision, may solicit some discussion about it before we do vote. So I'd like to start with the first one about data centers. I'm not gonna read it. We're well versed with what they are, and we voted last time. Any discussion about the warrant article for data centers by the board?
We need to move it before we discuss it.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll move this warrant article about data centers.
Do I have a sec?
I'll second it.
Very good. Okay, Clifton, did you have something to say?
Yeah, the only issue I have with the language in that data center ordinance is it doesn't differentiate between traditional data centers and AI data centers. Traditional data centers usually are central processing units where AI, and they don't use as much energy. AI data centers more like they use GPUs and another processor, which I can't remember the name. But those are the ones that consume more energy, water, etc. And because that language doesn't differentiate between the two, I'm against it. And I don't think Canterbury has any fear of having a data center put in. And the language could also deter a traditional data center coming into town.
Thank you. Any other comment? I'll make a comment. I tend to, I spoke against this at the last meeting. There was a discussion about water uses, and there was a member on the committee that mentioned something, and I kind of getting ahead of ourselves because we haven't approved the minutes yet, but there was a discussion in the minutes about the Merrimack River, and my comment was, I don't believe there's enough water in the Merrimack River at its low point during the summertime. Hence the reason why I just don't think that data centers are, especially with the high cost of electricity here in New Hampshire, I just don't feel that they're coming here. Go ahead, Logan.
I'm going to restate what I said last time, which is that if we do not want to be fighting against a data center in court that would be bad for this town on many levels, we have to legislate ahead of that problem. So even if we don't think it is likely that someone would want to move a data center into Canterbury, which frankly, it's probably pretty unlikely, we can't assume that the technical limitations that currently exist that make it more unlikely will continue to exist in the future. And personally, I don't think we want any data centers in Canterbury, so the differentiation is not an issue for me, but the voters can make their own decisions.
Okay.
I'll second what she said.
Any other discussion by the board? So we have a motion to move this to the town meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Nay. Same vote as last time. The second.
Not.
Oh, you're right. You weren't here. On the gross living area, does anybody on the board have any comment about the warrant article? I'm not gonna read it.
So I should move the article. I'll move gross living area warrant article.
I'll second.
Very good. Comment? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Third article, regarding the legislative compliance, this has to do with the ADU changes and the parking space and so on forth. I'm not gonna read it again. Anybody wanna move this article?
I'll move it.
A second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion by the board?
I don't really think we have a choice if we wanna be in compliance with state law.
I think we wanna be in compliance with state law.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good thing to do. So this is just some housekeeping measures so that regarding to, I'm seeing some chuckling by the audience that there are some things that kind of go contrary to state law, which was like,
Well, they're new laws.
yeah, the new laws. Any more discussion about this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Going to the fourth article, wetland setback.
I'll move the wetland setback ordinance.
Seconded.
Aiken's gonna second it. So this is, this was a, article came about because of, Megan and Brendan went to a subcommittee with the Conservation Commission. It's a very, minimal setback, 25 feet. It's a good place to start. Any further discussion by the board?
I feel it should be 50 feet.
So noted. Any other discussion by the board?
I would agree, it's just more about what the town is willing to stomach at this point, not having any setback.
I agree
But I
with you,
agree.
Megan.
Well, we might want to, Megan, you can probably speak to it, but Brenda's not here, so without him, I'd be reluctant to make any changes to it.
No,
Because it was in subcommittee. So, this was a result of the subcommittee, so I'd be reluctant to be making any changes at this point to it.
My understanding is that Brendan's opinion is that we should pass a wetlands ordinance if possible, if the voters will accept it, and then potentially,
Move forward.
increase it or alter it in the future, if that seems viable. And
Yeah.
I agree.
I would rather have one than none.
Correct.
just stating my opinion, not recommending we change anything at this point.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Said no? The last one is the cluster subdivision. Did you make this, Megan, this new draft?
Right now it's.
Cal did? Okay, thank you, Cal. That's right, no, never mind, we proposed these changes at the last meeting, okay?
Yeah.
I made it.
So this will revise section 6.7.
No, 6.4.
Amend 6.4C. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so it will amend ordinance 6.4C, and we'll make the changes. Basically, it's just gonna change that one sentence in the middle, so that it will not exceed 50%, rounded to the nearest whole unit of the density allowed under section 5.2 of the zoning ordinance.
I'll move that we send this to town meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Any more discussion by the board members? Seeing there's none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All five amendments have passed.
Chair, may I say something?
You may.
I was not here at the last meeting. I read the minutes, followed the minutes on this, and I thought the board had a very productive and thoughtful discussion on this ordinance, so congratulations, or whatever. Good job.
Comments are welcome, thank you. So those of you that were here for the notice that you received in the mail, you're welcome to stay, but that concludes the business that we had in regards to those specific things, okay? So you're welcome to exit quietly. We're gonna continue on with our meeting. Hey, let's jump ahead now
You're welcome
to,
to join us next time too.
let's see.
Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Let's jump to the minutes from last meeting. Looking for a motion on the minutes.
Well, I had a revision this afternoon with Cal, I don't know where that.
I
came
think
in.
she got them.
Alright, so there's one suggested change for the
Hold
minutes.
on, we gotta,
You're gonna motion, you got a re-motion after,
motion and then discuss and then accept amended, right?
I
Yeah, I think so. So I'm looking for a motion on the minutes from last meeting.
So moved.
I'll second them.
So we had one proposed change, in the section where it says, Joshua argued that the Merrimack River provides enough water for a data center and electric diesel generators are a feasible electricity option. Rich disagreed that the river provides enough water. The, suggestion.
What number, line number?
76.
76. I didn't print out copies for
yep.
everybody because it's the one, it's pretty simple change. It's just instead of it being, that he did say that, it's that he said that it would be enough electricity, it's that it could be electricity, so
Water.
water, thank you.
We're all tongue-tied tonight.
Changing it to, Joshua argued that the Merrimack River could be a source of water for a data center and electric diesel generators are a feasible electricity option. Rich disagreed that the river at its lowest point in the summer could provide enough water. So just changing it from definitive to it could.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Any other changes? All in favor?
It's as amended, right?
As amended, thank you. So with the minutes from last meeting as amended, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I abstained, I wasn't here.
Thank you, Greg. Moving to the subdivision, Picard Road, Byfields, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. So this development, the Byfields were here at last meeting. You were not, there were some things that were missing and some things that we're looking for. So let's start from scratch. You weren't here
Sure.
last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Go through it all.
I will, and I apologize, I know I was scheduled to be at the December hearing, and I made the bold assumption that you only hold one hearing a month, so I just assumed
Yeah,
it was at the end of the month, and I just,
Easy mistake. You're here now.
yeah. So, again, my name is Mark Sargent, and I'm with the firm of Richard Bartlett and Associates. I'm here tonight representing the Byfield family. The property is at 129 Picard Road. It has an area of 24.24 acres with 970 plus feet of frontage on Picard Road, almost 1,900 feet of frontage on Old Schoolhouse Road. It does have a single family home with several outbuildings on it. And we've assessed the property for both topography and wetlands. The subdivision that we're proposing before the board this evening is to create 2 additional parcels. Lot 26-1 would be fronting both on Old Schoolhouse and Picard Road. We have 571 feet of frontage on Picard Road, an area of 5.02 acres, area of 5.02 acres, and 3.94 acres of that meeting the minimum lot size requirement. The second lot, we call it lot 26-2, that has 1,254 feet of frontage on the Old Schoolhouse Road, an area of 14.17 acres, 10.63 of those acres meeting the minimum lot size required. It is designated as an open space parcel because it is on a Class 6 road. And then the remaining parcel with the single-family home, which is lot 26, and we have 486.24 feet of frontage, an area of 5.05 acres, and 3.51 of those acres meeting the minimum lot size requirements. How can I answer some questions?
What is the minimum lot size of that?
3 acres.
Okay, there were some things, first off was the, you have some delineation of wetlands.
Yes, sir.
And right off the bat, we noticed there wasn't a wetlands scientist stamp.
That's correct, yeah, it will be.
Could you explain that?
I didn't have time to get the wetland scientist to stamp it prior to getting it submitted, so. I can tell you it was done by a certified wetland scientist because the wetland scientist is my daughter.
Okay, so if it were to be approved, that's gonna be a conditional.
Sure, yeah, understood.
You put in for a waiver that's with the application, and the waiver was for section 6, wells and septic systems on site and within 200 feet. Could you explain that further?
We've shown the well on the site, the well and the septic. We located the well and the septic to the south of the site.
Which site, which,
Yeah, I'll get here. I'm gonna show you. So, for this single-family home down here, the well is actually located in the wetland, and the septic is right up here. And then on this site is the next closest site, well over here, septic here, and the other site that's within the 200-foot buffer or range is across the road, and that property is posted, and we weren't able to locate it, so we asked for the waiver.
How about the subdivision? Where are you proposing to put a septic and a well there?
Haven't even thought about it. There's plenty of room to fit one on there, and it doesn't require state subdivision approval,
No,
because it's over 5 acres, so,
right.
but there is ample room to fit a septic in a well on there.
It is in our regulation, our land use regulations that proposed where it foreseeable could go.
And I can certainly put that on there.
so you're looking for a waiver because across Picard Road, your neighbor won't let you trespass and so you can't measure it?
That's correct.
Do you believe it's more than 75 feet away from the septic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see, as a land surveyor, and Brian behind me probably attest to this too, a lot of towns ask for that, had that requirement on there, that you show everything within 200 feet. A lot of people, in New Hampshire do not like us walking on their property. And we have tried to pass laws that give us a right of trespass, I guess, for lack of a better description, and it's turned down every time. So, especially if you're looking for wetlands, nobody wants to know that there's wetlands on their property. And a lot of people just don't want to step on their property, so.
Approximately how many feet is your, on the bottom one that's on Picard Road, the location of the well in the wetland, approximately how many feet is that from the Picard Road itself?
From Picard Road here?
Yeah, Picard Road to the well, remember
Oh, this
yeah,
one
right
here.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
To Picard
it's
Road.
about 200 feet. Yeah, and this is a 50-foot setback here,
Yeah.
so, obviously we could put a well and a septic in here. put it back here, I mean, there's ample room to do that.
Yeah.
And certainly I can throw that on there as part of the condition.
Just don't-
The other thing is, the current driveway is down on the lower parcel,
Yeah.
right there.
There's one here, there's one here.
So that would come out on the Class 6
Class
road.
6 road, yeah.
Doesn't it already?
It does, yeah, that's existing.
Would there be any intention of putting it onto Picard Road?
I don't think they have any intent to do that, when they have the existing driveway there.
Okay.
So they exit their property and they go on to Old Schoolhouse Road
Yeah.
out to Picard Road. That's how it works now.
Yeah, and this house here, comes up to Old Card Road, but, because it was a whole family complex, there's obviously access in between the buildings there.
Okay, the only other one, it's a minor one, is, our regulation, our land use regulations ask for, the size and dimensions of the existing structures on the piece of property.
Okay.
So that'd be another. So we got a wetland stamp, size and height of existing structures.
So with that, you just want the dimensions on the building.
Yeah.
Or
32
wave
by
it.
24 or whatever.
That's fine,
Um,
simple enough to do, so.
Existing proposed well and driveway. Oh, one other application, it is covered under, our subdivision standards, so that back parcel, that 14, we'd want it on the Mylar, that it was, open space uses only. Lots not eligible for residential or commercial building purposes.
Why is it restricted like that?
Because the subdivision, is being subdivided part onto a Class 6 road.
There's no frontage on
There's no
a Class 5
frontage.
or better road, I think is how it's.
Right, but if he gets a waiver and goes through that whole process, someone could build on it, yeah.
Yeah, but they'd have to do.
They'd have to go
they'd have
through
to,
it, but right
Submit a
now,
road plan and stuff.
under our zoning, the subdivision that doesn't have the frontage on the Class 6, they'd have to upgrade the Class 6, Class 5 road to, Class 6 road to Class 5 standards.
Yeah.
And I don't think you wanna put that money.
No, and the intent of the subdivision was to have that as an open space.
Yeah, just put that on the Mylar, on that parcel, and that covers it. It's reference, 5, sorry, I gotta get the number, 5.2, point D, .4, point little a.
What does it go to?
That gets you, that walks you right to the,
Got it?
our zoning
Is
ordinance.
that 132?
So other than that,
Right, where does it go?
we're still not complete yet without all those other things.
Okay. Those can't be a condition or.
I guess we could.
How many are there? So,
Got one, wetland stamp. Size and dimensions of existing structures. Proposed well, no, the open spaces statement on the Mylar. And that's it.
Yeah, that's what I have, it's a well set up location, mention of the buildings, label the open space and the wetlands.
Does Old Schoolhouse come out on 132?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Right across from Windswept Farm.
Yeah, yeah.
so about conditional conditions, Administration has asked us in the past to keep our conditions to a minimum. Because
Those are still-
it's difficult for them to track and manage. But is three minimal?
I think they're hefty, the big ones. I'd rather see the wetland stamp on there.
Okay.
The size, dimensions of the houses, that's an easy one.
It is, you know, it
Um,
is. I guess I don't understand how that enhances the application.
Yeah, I would waive it if I were you.
I don't mind putting
Yeah.
it on there, but it'd come back here another month.
It comes down to one, really. It's a wetland seal is the biggest one, I think.
Call your daughter.
I think the real question is like, do any of these things, you know, substantively alter this in such a way that we need to have these folks come back?
They don't.
They don't. I don't think so. So, I mean, conditionally, I mean, wetland stamp, it's gonna go to registry. If you bring it to the registry and submit it,
It's gotta be there before before the
Right.
chair signs
You're
it.
gonna
I
see it
mean-
when I give you the Mylar, so.
yeah.
I'm
Are
feel
there a
good with
waiver
that.
or measurements and?
Okay.
And I would suggest just waiving the other two, so no one has to manage them.
Well, there's a number of buildings. I think having the dimensions of the buildings would be helpful for it to be on record. And I definitely would like to see that verbiage on there on that back lot.
Yeah.
That just covers us, you know, the zoning wise. So those are three conditions. I get no problem putting conditional on those
Okay.
and approving it. So do I motion for completeness?
Well, we already did that, I think, last.
Did we?
I think even though they were
I
absent,
think I saw that in the minutes, but I'm not
Yeah.
positive.
yeah, I think
We did? Okay, so we motioned last time for completeness, good. Is there anybody in public comment? Open it up to the public, any comments about this subdivision? I see no hands. Any further discussion by the board? No further discussion, so I'd like to see a motion on conditionally approve the subdivision
on three conditions,
on the
right?
three conditions. The wetland stamp, the verbiage about the open spaces, and the dimensions of the structures.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Super, well, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Sorry I missed you last month.
It's okay, it happens. That's the second one. Baptist Hill Road hearing. Good evening.
I'm here representing Mr. Atkinson on this project,
I didn't hear your name, sorry.
Brian Bailey.
What was the name of the other gentleman that was here last time? Thought he was Brian Bailey.
That was my son, Craig Bailey,
Craig Bailey,
and
okay,
my daughter's the wetland side,
okay.
just to get that out in the open.
Popular
It's not
profession
the
for
same
dogs.
dog. It's not the
It's a
same.
thing that we've all aspired to, it seems like lately.
It's not the same daughter, right?
No.
Okay. So the last time this was presented to us, it was voted, as not being complete.
Correct.
There were some modifications. I see a lot of colors. Concern was about the wetlands and the steep slopes and the driveways were the big concerns that the board had. So if you'd like to fill us in as to the changes.
Right, I would be happy to do that. This map that I show up here, which does have some coloration to it, is an effort to try to show 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. Well, that's what this is what this boils down to. The steep slopes are the shaded, I'm gonna stand up and take a look at that myself, because my little copy is not colored. It's the purple shading, these are the steep slopes being over greater than 15%, I do believe. There's also a blue shading that is throughout the property. There are significant wetlands, that's what those are the wetlands. And of course, the underlying contours are also shown on the entire property, the 2 foot. So there's an awful lot of information being shown. As to the driveways, I have identified them for the 3 lots. One here on the easternmost lot is in green, coming off basically the apex of the curve in front of that lot. And then there's 2 other green ones that are shown close to one another. They're at the property line. So as to, again, be at the apex of the curve and to afford the best site visibility. And this middle lot, you gotta go quite a ways to get to a point where you're out of harm's way, as it were, with regard to wetlands and placement of a home and to comply with DES septic system rules and regulations. So that's why that home is placed way back here and not in the front up here. There's a nice area up there, but it fails in terms of setbacks to wetlands and for septic systems. Now, to get to this, I mean, these are all very large lots. Lot number 8-1 is the middle, 8-2 is the westernmost lot. You can see that they're 13.5 acres on the lot 8-2, 12.85 acres on 8-1, and 13.43 acres on lot number 8. You'll also note that there's a notation, and it's got to do with subtracting the wetlands and coming up with compliance with the zoning and subdivision regulations. And again, they're all significant. The bottom line is 11.4 acres of upland on the lot 8, 11.2 acres of upland on the middle lot, and 13.0 acres on the westernmost lot.
So on the top lot, on the easternmost lot, the purple is really, only adds up to 2 acres? Roughly? 89,000 square feet?
The purple,
Excuse me.
Steep
slope, I withdraw the question.
yeah, because the steep slopes is not
Yeah, it doesn't
summarized.
subtract.
It's just identified. And 15% slopes, it's not all that bad. You just don't want to charge right straight up unless you got a toboggan with you.
Or a toboggan to go out with.
You need it, toboggan.
Where the 2 driveways are on the middle and the western one,
Yes.
how far is that from the top of the hill? Where the
God
visibility
only
is so
knows,
bad?
because I don't know what top of the hill you're talking about.
At the top of the hill is where Sunset Road, what's the name of that road that comes out? Right at the top of the hill.
I'm gonna leave that to you because I couldn't drive to this site. This
Is
is
that
in
Harmony?
Canterbury,
No,
and
Harmony.
you get lost out
This
here
isn't
in
it.
a heartbeat.
Hancock.
I don't know is the answer, I really don't.
Hey, you made it here.
Well, the reason.
Oh, yeah, I can make it.
Goes east.
I don't know, sir, I couldn't tell you.
The reason I ask is that,
Yeah.
the visibility there is literally 0. And I'm worried that if you were coming out of the person who lives just west of the westernmost lot, yeah, there's a road that comes out there, and I think it's on here. No, it's right there.
I think that's Misery.
No,
No,
it's Sunset.
No.
I
Sunset?
It's not Sunset.
No, Sunset's
On
on
sheet
Packet
number
Road.
one, there's a locus map that gives us,
It's the name of,
some information.
Right here.
On this locus
yeah,
map,
it's this road right here.
yeah, the discontinued road,
No, it's not, well,
it was dot.
your neighbor uses it. The
Okay.
first 50 yards of it or something,
Yeah,
for their driveway.
well, this is to scale, and you can see that there's a significant amount of distance here, that's over three
I think
hundred.
it is called-
Each of these lots are in excess of 300 feet long, so that's clearly in excess of maybe 400 feet. And I would defer to the tax map for
So,
any measurements to that, because I don't have them.
Mr. Chair, one piece of information, at the request of the chair, the road agent did look at the proposed driveway location and approved it.
Oh, good.
Good.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
Did you get an email?
No, I did not.
I'll forward it to you.
Thank you.
I did
I-
place on here
I did see
a
that,
note
the
that
sight lines.
identifies the 235 foot, I do 205 foot sight line, which was the recommended sight distance for a rural road, 30 mile an hour.
Got it.
You know, and
Yeah.
according to the manual there that DOT sends us to. My son, Craig, he is a civil engineer also, as a surveyor and a civil engineer. And he's looked at them, and that's where that number comes from.
That's great.
It's so I think that's called, Bean Hill Road, right?
Yep.
Road, right?
And is the road name on the plat?
No, no.
So road names
So-
are supposed to be on the plat,
So these are
right?
the
But
three
they were off the
parcels,
plat.
but it's off the
I
plat.
see, I
It's
gotcha.
way down
Yeah,
here.
Gotcha,
And
yeah,
then Misery's
Yeah.
up here, and then it's,
that's Hancock,
that's Hancock,
yeah.
way up there.
Oh, it's way west of Missouri.
Yes. It's way west of Misery, but east of Bean Hill.
Bean Hill, that's what it's called.
Yes.
And Bean Hill is where you come out of Bean Hill,
Far enough so it's not gonna be on that.
There's no way.
there's literally
Yeah,
no visibility.
It's in the
either
locust.
Yeah.
It's in the locust right here.
direction. What is the, on,
Okay.
The other thing that I show on the map here, and you require the delineation of the 300 foot by 300 foot rectangle, and
Yes.
that's been added to this map. There's an awful lot of information on this map here.
what's this?
That's an existing trail. I'm not so sure, but I think somebody said that was a snowmobile trail going up through there?
That's probably right.
Yeah.
Plausible.
So the things that we were looking for last time, is the Canterbury rectangle, it's in our zoning.
Yeah.
So based on the zone that this is in, which is the agricultural conservation district, you have to have a 300 by 300 triangle, shows that the lot meets the minimum specifications for that zone.
And it does.
And you put that on there, so that's good.
We showed the house, the proposed house site.
The proposed building
well.
envelopes and the driveways, you've
Yeah.
added those.
Yeah, that's not to say that they're the only spot, but it's
Yep.
what I perceive to be a logical spot.
The areas for the septics and the 75-foot protective area for the wells, you've added those to each of the lots.
Right.
Question I have is, so there's supposed to be, so lot 8, can you tell me the width, the back width of lot 8?
295.3 plus L6, 74.85. 295.3 plus 75, we'll call it, it's gonna be right around 370.
Okay. So the, and the other question I had was in your partial line table. Partial line table, those units the length, what are the units in those numbers? Would that be feet?
Degrees, minutes, and seconds on the other, where the heck are we? Here we go.
So if you go to your, cardinal arrow,
Directions, yeah, those are degrees, minutes, and seconds, and hundredths of seconds.
Yeah, it says right on there what they are.
That's
no, the length,
the length.
That's
what's,
feet.
the feet,
Yeah,
okay, that's not on there.
well, it's not meters.
Could
Or
be inches.
miles.
You
Could
know,
be,
that went out in 74.
it could be alligators,
Americans will use anything but the metric.
it could be alligators,
No, it's not.
it could
It's
be
feet.
75 alligators.
It's feet.
Could it though?
I'm not,
I
I'll be
mean,
happy to
It
put.
could,
the-
without units on it, it could be anything.
No. Don't be ridiculous, but I will be happy to put the little accent U at the end of the dimension.
Thank you. It's just a technicality that I picked up on, I'm a science teacher, without units, it could be alligators, okay? With, it could be feet, it could be metric, it could be
It could be rods,
rods, it could be,
perches.
without a unit on there, it could be anything.
Leagues.
Driveway, sight lines, thank you, Mr. Scott, I was gonna select bullet here, you forward me the thing in regards, so sight lines, that's covered. Yeah, I'm good, everything that I could see, anybody else? The board, is there anything else that brings merits of this? No.
Seems they've addressed the things that were concerned in the prior meeting.
Yep, and then some. Is anybody here, I'd like to open it up to the public, if there's anybody in attendance that has, like to speak to this subdivision? Anybody on Zoom?
Nobody on Zoom.
So we're all good there.
But-
So,
They have their cameras on.
Oh, we can't see them because
I don't think there isn't any contingencies, so we're good. I think we're
move approval.
ready for a motion.
I think you have to accept it first, don't you?
We did.
No, you didn't,
Except for completeness?
right, you didn't accept it.
We did.
No, we didn't.
Oh, that's right, this is the one we didn't
So I'd like the motion for completeness.
complete now.
I move that we find this application complete.
I'll
Second.
second
Thank
it.
you. Very good. That's right, we did not do completeness.
Hall of Fame.
Public comment, further discussion.
Can you all vote on the completeness?
We're about to.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good. So now, does anybody wanna do site walk? Any further discussion? Looking for a motion?
Move to approve.
Move to,
Second.
there we go. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you for taking care of all those things. I know it didn't go,
I walked up that hill this morning, but I had spikes, micro spikes on my feet, so I know it's excessive.
So I'll prepare the Mylar and have that delivered,
Yeah.
and then you folks will sign it, and you're not gonna return it to me, you record it, don't you?
I received.
at least I believe we do, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming back. Did the minutes, did both subdivisions, did the cluster subdivision. Is there there's old business, let's pass this around. This is from last time, this is the last thing on the agenda of the lot merger. There really isn't anything here, we just need signatures, so Scott and Logan signed it. I don't have a dark pen, so I'm not gonna sign it in purple.
Can we sign that as an alternate or no?
Megan, I think we only need 4, right?
We technically only need 4.
Yeah, so we're good. Unless you really wanna sign it.
No.
I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
I don't think we needed.
We
don't
did
have
it
no
last time.
deference.
We don't need any motion because they were looking for signatures.
We don't have a choice.
Nobody said it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It's-
matter. How many signatures do we have?
4.
Great, done.
Can you tell me the RSA for the notice thing that caused all that?
It's RSA 675:7, Roman I-A, or Roman A1, the big I.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any new business?
Did we get, any movement on, getting, counts of, building permit applications or building permits?
Scott was gonna look into that.
I did talk to Ken, I haven't heard anything back yet.
Yeah.
I'll ask
The
in 2
request
weeks.
was
For quarterly split between primary residences and ADUs.
Yeah, I don't care how it comes, but just as long as it comes regularly.
Yeah.
So that covers old business.
There's a piece of old business.
Pardon?
And me writing up something to communicate to the public and put in the newsletter about the warrant articles. The ones that are to get us to compliance with state law are pretty straightforward, but wetland setback and cluster development, I just wanna make sure the board is on the same page of our intentions behind these. So we were going to have a brief discussion about that, so I can make some notes and bring something to the next meeting for everyone to approve, to put out publicly.
Given what we've talked about, isn't it fairly apparent what our intention is?
I think especially with cluster subdevelopment, we have a variety of different reasons and kind of bumble around it and say, you know, well, we're just making this change and then we're gonna address more later. I just want to be clear in what we're communicating to the public, clear and concise, so that people know what they're voting for and why.
It's really important.
Are you saying that you have something drafted, or are you asking for drafts?
No, I'm asking for the board to be on the same page of what I'm going to put into a draft, so that we can vote on it, for me to put it in the newsletter and put it out publicly next meeting.
It would be easier to, in my opinion, to react to a draft.
Yeah, I thought that was what was.
Well, that's what's in the minutes. So in the minutes that we just approved earlier, on line 277, Megan asked how these proposed changes to the zoning ordinance are going to be communicated to the public. There was discussion about potential communication, and Megan volunteered to do a write-up that can be distributed through the monthly newsletter, weekly email, town website, Facebook, etc.
Yes.
And then it continues.
The board will have an initial discussion about what the statement should say. At the 1/27/26 meeting, Megan will create a draft, and then the board can approve the statement at the 2/10 meeting.
Okay.
So, initial discussions. Do you have any suggestions, Megan?
Well, let's start with wetland setback, if we could just go around, and if you voted in favor of that, what was your intention, what is your intention? I think Logan, you stated the proactiveness quite well with the data centers, I think that also applies with wetland setback. Like, for me, the environmental impact is important to me. Are there other reasons that folks who voted yes on putting this before the town did so?
Yes, that it's been under discussion, in various committees and then the planning board for 10 years at least. So it's time to do something about it. Yeah.
I think it's probably worthwhile to note that there are a number of people who feel that these setbacks should be larger, but because there is a history of this being voted down in the past, the decision was made to go with something more moderate and potentially adjust further in the future.
And I think that's key. I don't think we need to accentuate the negativity of it not passing in the past or being voted down.
I
would
trust
second
Megan's
that.
communication skills to moderate this for public, like, consumption. I'm just making a note that that point seems important to bring up in some fashion.
Did the town actually vote it down at some point?
Yes. Within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Are there any reasons that people wanted this or voted for this that have to do with development? Canterbury?
So we're still talking about the wetlands?
Yes.
I mean, in what we're proposing, I mean, it's self-explanatory in there. There's a lot of information about purpose. I mean, just the way that it's delineated and what we're bringing to the voters, and that the purpose is very articulated, with 6 different points. The definitions, are hot topic words. And then the proposal is very modest, only 25 feet. I think if the citizens were to approve this, I think maybe we could look to increase it, but I think at 25 feet, it's very modest, and if it's gonna pass, it's gonna pass. If it's not, then it's not. I mean, it's this one is probably needs the least amount of explanation, I think.
But I think the good point is that it's modest. Good point
Yeah.
is that the town's been talking about it for a long time.
It might be worthwhile to mention that this is fairly consistent with other towns in the area.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually way more
Know whether
actually,
we're
yeah.
it's
way less
proposing
than
something
a lot.
outlandish
It's a
or
lot
not.
less.
A lot less than
Yeah.
the town.
That's the only reason I had an issue with it, but again, I understand what you guys are saying, and I agree wholeheartedly with the intentions of what you're doing. That's just me personally, I think it should be more, but not trying to take away from anything you guys have worked on, because I haven't been to a meeting in a while too, so.
I think some towns are like 75 feet.
Yeah. 50 to 100.
Do you think you have enough
Yep.
verbiage there?
For that one,
So let's jump to the legislative compliance one. That's probably an easy one.
I don't think I need, I mean, unless.
That's
those
just
are
saying
very
that changing things
You want to
statutorily.
be compliant with state law.
Yeah, that
Right.
one's simple.
That's easy.
Cluster development.
I think it's an important point is that new laws were passed and we
Yes.
need to come in compliance with it. So people don't go say, why are you all
Why
making
do we have
rules that are.
illegal laws?
Right.
Let's do gross living area. Gross living area, that is just basically coming up with a definition in regards to the ADUs. Because we have a set amount of space for an ADU, and for us to be able to apply that set amount of space, we need to define where that space is measured at.
Yeah, that was sort of a clarification more than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So an ADU can't be more than 1,000 feet, so is it from outside corners or, you know?
Yeah, so clarification on how set space was measured.
Correct.
Simple.
Does that leave data centers?
I think you're good on data centers. I mean, you can
Yeah,
upload the wording for that.
I feel
That's your baby there, so.
fine with writing that one, really cluster development is the one that I
The
think
last
is gonna
one.
need the most clarification, that we all want to be on the same page.
I guess I would start out saying that cluster development or cluster ordinance was intended to incentivize people to put aside land when they're
Open space.
Open space, that's real important, that's the,
you know, but there's been problems with its implementation.
I
And,
mean, we did that, even with exit 18, we still get half of that land open.
yeah,
So,
and so this is designed to
facilitate that development while maintaining the rural character of Canterbury.
What is our reasoning behind 50%?
Sorry, Megan.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
that
don't-
got,
I don't
and that's
need
the part
help.
I don't know with.
Wordsmithing it, I just want our rationale behind it. So what was our rationale behind the 50%? Just so I know that we're all on the same page and I don't write something that half of the folks disagree with, because that wasn't what they were thinking.
For that number specifically, or for using a reduction in the baseline as the sort of change we're making?
Both.
Both, I think people are, I mean, we've gotten the question, why 50%
I
already?
mean, I don't know if we have a satisfactory answer for like why that number specifically.
Yeah.
Versus like, 60% or 70% or 40%. At some point you just have to pick a number. Which is not a very,
So-
that's not a
We
very
just
satisfying
picked
answer.
a number.
That's not a very satisfying answer, but I mean, like, the goal of, that reduction in baseline is to put more emphasis and like value, and again, I'm gonna trust you're good at words. I've seen you be good at words, you don't even need to come up with excellent words right now,
I
you
think
can come up
words
with
good.
excellent words later. But like to put more emphasis on the, bonuses, jeez, I like lost the word bonuses there, see, this is why you're gonna do this later. Like to give those things more emphasis and value and leverage in the conversations about what exactly
Emphasize the
happens.
density bonus.
Emphasize the density bonus, yeah.
That's,
Why 50%? Because it seemed significant enough to make a difference? Sure.
So the basic reason is that we wanna put the brakes on the process on this while we fix some things.
yeah, but it's hard to
Right.
say that without sounding
We're gonna sound
foolish.
that. I don't think that's a good way of explaining what we're trying to do.
Basically what it boils down to is we put a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of wordsmithing, a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of work that went into that ordinance, and I hate to just toss it.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
you
we're
can't
not
put that
done.
in the.
But no, I get
in the vote.
it. So in a way to rectify or to get your foot in the door, the biggest thing that we saw was the percentage. Then we can take and look at other minute things like the density bonuses and, whatever else that we can come away with. So why this? Because we think this one was the leading flaw.
Is the board okay with me saying that this puts more control in the hands of the board? You
How
okay
about
with the word
more-
of control?
More
But-
emphasis on density
More,
bonuses.
more emphasis on
You have to understand your-
conservation and preserving open space. We found that it wasn't meeting the goal of our ordinance, and that we needed to change it to put more emphasis on conservation and open space.
I think we should keep out the word control, that just.
So
So-
here's the thing, your audience doesn't understand emphasis on density bonuses,
And they're not gonna understand how
Like,
50% relates to.
but they
conservation
understand
goals.
this gives the board more control.
More
Oh,
ability
or
to
more-
promote, more ability
Ability.
to promote
That's a better word.
conservation and open space.
Yeah.
Because it comes around full circle, because the purpose is to preserve open space. So this percentage is gonna give us more ability to reach those goals of keeping more open space.
In the short term, it really doesn't though, because I think 50%, I mean, it's a practical matter, makes it so no one's gonna use this. So it's
Yeah.
a
I don't
little bit
know if
odd.
that's true, I think everyone's making that assumption, but I don't know that we actually have evidence that that's
I think
the
that
case.
that piece of property between me and you has the potential.
But somebody was pointing out that that's mostly zoned agricultural.
A lot of it is.
A lot of it is
Which means that a lot
agricultural.
of it is out of the bounds, anyway, this is well beyond what Megan needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we interested in committing publicly to the pieces of it that we will be revisiting in the coming year, so it looks like we have a plan and that we're not just
Yeah.
flying by the seat of our pants here.
Density
So
bonuses.
we will be revisiting in the coming year density bonus.
That's a good idea to say that we
Yeah.
plan to, hopefully you'll see something else next year, it doesn't take people by surprise that,
But in the
No.
meantime, this change gives us a little bit more control over the process. I don't think control is a bad word here, Colin.
I agree, I think that the town wants to hear that their board has control over development. That's what we're here for.
It is a little bit of
Well,
There's a lot of, struggle, people have a lot of internal struggle about this issue, and have for years. You
There's a
know,
lot
how
of
much.
cognitive dissonance around this specifically,
well,
yeah.
can you, is it possible for you to distribute, are we allowed to do that, a draft? Cause I'm gonna wanna think on this for more than like an afternoon.
It can go out with the, pre-meeting.
It can, you could
information.
forward it to Cal could disseminate it, do not reply to it, that's the catch.
Yeah,
It's the, we
but I
can
mean sooner
reply
rather than
all.
later, I don't know.
If people put out emails without copying everyone and instead use BCC, then it really reduces the chances of people accidentally copying everyone on a reply.
No reply all, that's bad.
I deleted the shortcut from my.
That's probably a smart decision for a lot of people.
Is there anything else other than density bonus structure that we will be looking at to change, possibly change the next year?
We could probably change the whole thing, I think we're.
Other
all-
incentives, just globally, other incentives, to incentivize.
I think citing is critical, that we should have citing control as one of the density bonuses. So is it a separate thing? But
No, like we're looking at density bonus structure, is there anything else that we are looking at with this? Yes.
I think most of our discussion has been around like either changing the amount of bonus or changing / adding the things that you can get bonuses for. I think that encompasses most of what we've been talking about all through here.
Okay,
I'd agree with that.
I think that's sufficient for my purposes.
The man here who owned the commercial on the west side of the highway. I mean,
Steve Cochran.
yeah, we might wanna address some of those issues too, you know, what's available, what's allowable in the commercial. There's so little of it,
I don't know that that's actually what his issue was.
I don't know.
I think they're working that through, and maybe they'll come back to us with some proposal, but until they do, I don't think we.
I think it would also be a good idea, like when the select board proposes their warrant articles to the town, to put the vote on each of those, what the planning board voted for each of the warrant articles, like with the data center, 2 opposed, 4 in favor, or whatnot. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, just throwing it out there.
I can check with Sam, just to make sure that that's okay to put on the ballot.
Yeah, there are lots of rules about what you can put
Oh,
on
I
the
see,
ballot.
on the
That
ballot, but I'm
sounds
saying what
reasonable.
Megan is presenting to the public, or no? I'm just throwing out an idea.
Yeah, I can
I
include
mean,
what the
All in
votes were.
favor, I mean, yeah,
The vote is a matter of public record, if people are
Yeah.
curious, they
Okay.
can always find out.
just throwing it out there.
Because what people are gonna look at is, it was passed by the board and being presented to the public. Doesn't matter if it was unanimous or razor thin, I mean, the point is that it was passed.
Okay. Like I said, I was just throwing it out there.
I think there is actually a precedent for doing that. I can recall one town meeting where 2 of the 3 select board felt one way and the opposition actually wanted to speak against it. And that's the way it played out.
So that was at town meeting?
That was at town meeting.
Right, so that's different than what can actually be printed on a ballot.
No, because
there's-
it,
Right?
when my memory is that is what went on the warrant, that 2 were in favor, 1 opposed.
Oh, yeah, I think that was printed in the little
It was,
booklet. This sounds familiar.
yeah,
I don't
yeah, and
I
one
don't
select,
think we do that with planning
I don't,
things though.
as Cal suggests, I think Sam is
Check on it.
ultimately in the science, but.
Yeah, cause we do it for the second session for select board all the time.
Right.
So it's reasonable to see it.
Wasn't there something that passed recently by the New Hampshire government about how much information you can put out describing an article?
I don't think that passed, did it?
It did not pass.
Yeah,
That
okay.
was-
There was a, yeah, bill,
Yeah,
There's a lot of
something
things.
along the lines of electioneering or,
correct.
so do
Megan,
you
are
have enough?
satisfied that you have your,
She's good. Any other new business? Any other old business? I'm going to entertain.
motion to
Motion
adjourn?
adjourned.
I'll second it. All those.
8:30. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're out of here.
Does anyone ever oppose a motion to go?
There might be somebody that just wants to stay here.